I think that I think the trauma bond issue that we had in our marriage was I I've been in and out of a few relationships since I was divorced, and I was divorced when I was in my early 30s. So I've had a lot of relationship experience, and while you stayed married to one person, you're pretty much your whole adult life. And so I had a lot of practice to be able to really look at all the failures in my relationships and be able to have some real introspective shadow work and pointing the finger back at myself to say like what is my definition of like love? What does that look like? And dealing with my own, I think my own interpretations are what I've been trained to believe about relationships and money and like all these things. So I think I was doing a lot more work on that through having different failed relationships versus you not. I was the first relationship and we got married literally a year to the date after we met, that I feel like you didn't really have a lot of practice around that sort of, because when we first got together, what did I say to you? I said, listen, I've been in a lot of relationships. I kind of feel like I kind of know the vibe of what a successful healthy relationship looks like and something that's not healthy. And I think that there was probably a lot of trauma for you within your marriage, and then how your marriage ended and the whole divorce process. So I don't necessarily think you were very prepared, I think, emotionally to get into another marriage. And what did I say to you? I said, do me a favor, just do me a favor. Please don't, if we have problems or we start to struggle, because we were going to. I mean, it's just normal that I said, just do me a favor. Just don't shut down on me. Like, don't shut down on me. And I think that I feel like when we started having issues, there were a lot of activated triggers for you that I think were kind of like almost like PTSD, like reminders of where you had been in your other relationship. So I feel like your old coping mechanisms were like coming out and whatnot. So I think that the only thing that I was more concerned about with this was like, because I'm going to be honest, like, I think that anybody who's in a relationship where they're struggling, you hear this whole thing, like, if it's not working, got to shift something. And sometimes you have to like let something go to kind of see if it was really meant to be, and see if, like how are we going to choose around the separation. And I would say that you have done an amazing job at not allowing your fears and your ego to interfere with that connection that we have, and that the things that I think that I was complaining about, I guess, quite frankly, throughout our relationship, you chose me very quickly and you really turned things around. Like a lot of the things that I was asking for that you had a hard time, I think, giving me over the course of our marriage, like the minute I was like, all right, I'm getting a different place. And at the very beginning of this, we were going to like get divorced. Like we were going to get divorced. We were like, we shouldn't even be together anymore. And where I've had experiences in the past where my partner's egos very much got involved, where they were like, feet in the dirt, and just like saying like, I'm not moving from this space. I'm staying in my little safe space. You allowed yourself to be like very vulnerable, and the things that the guy that I fell in love with and the guy that I married before we got married and had all the marriage struggle stuff, you showed up very quickly. So I think that my only fear was that, okay, if things were like going like this for so long, right? Like, is this thing that's going on right now, your ability to change quickly, was that going to go away once everything settles down? But and we've been very honest and communicatory about it with each other. And we like have, essentially held each other accountable for the things that we were unhappy with, without like the anger. And I had the same response that you did. I was very much like, if I had fears around these things, it was very quickly like quiet, calm would come over my like whole entire body. And I would hear this voice like, no, this is the right thing to do. You guys are going to be better for it. You're going to be closer for it.